the hero of Twin Falls? Most people run away from gunfire. One man appeared to run toward it. On August 1st, 2026, chaos erupted outside a newly opened In-N-Out Burger in Twin Falls, Idaho, when a gunman armed with a rifle opened fire on innocent people. As terrified customers fled for their lives, videos captured another man doing something almost unimaginable. He drew a handgun, faced the shooter, and appeared to engage him in an attempt to protect others. Within hours, social media identified that man as Jordan Salinas. Some called him a hero. Others urged caution, reminding the public that investigators were still working to establish exactly what happened. So, who is Jordan Salinas? And what really happened that afternoon? Tonight, we're separating verified facts from internet rumors. An ordinary citizen, unlike politicians, movie stars, or professional athletes, Jordan Salinas wasn't a public figure before August 2026. Very little about his private life had ever appeared in national news. Friends described him as someone who valued family, responsibility, and preparedness. After the shooting, countless people online praised his courage. But despite the viral attention, official information about his personal background remained limited. That lack of information created a flood of speculation online. Some posts claimed to know everything about him. Others shared stories that authorities had not confirmed. For this documentary, we'll focus only on information supported by reliable reporting. What transformed Jordan Salinas from an ordinary citizen into a national headline was a tragedy no one expected. A new restaurant, and a busy Saturday, just days before the shooting. Twin Falls had celebrated the opening of its first In-N-Out Burger. The restaurant attracted enormous crowds. Families, travelers, local residents. The drive-thru stretched for long distances. The parking lot remained busy throughout the day. For many people, it was simply another Saturday afternoon. No one imagined that within moments, the location would become the scene of one of Idaho's most shocking mass shootings in recent memory. The attack begins at approximately 2:30 p.m. Witnesses reported hearing what initially sounded like fireworks. Within seconds, people realized the sounds were gunfire. Authorities say a man armed with a long rifle opened fire at and around the restaurant. Customers dropped to the ground. Parents shielded their children. Employees rushed to help injured coworkers while others searched desperately for safety. The peaceful afternoon instantly turned into chaos. Then, amid the panic, videos captured something that quickly spread across the internet. The armed civilian. Several videos shared online appeared to show an armed civilian taking cover before returning fire toward the gunman. Witnesses later described seeing a man with a handgun confronting the attacker while others escaped. That footage quickly went viral. Within hours, social media users identified the armed civilian as Jordan Salinas. Many credited him with distracting the gunman and potentially preventing even greater loss of life. However, investigators initially urged the public not to rely on online speculation while the investigation continued. Authorities focused on interviewing witnesses and reviewing surveillance footage before confirming every detail of the incident. Chaos across Twin Falls. Police officers, emergency medical teams, and first responders arrived within minutes. The shopping center was locked down. Victims were rushed to nearby hospitals. Helicopters circled overhead. Families desperately searched for loved ones. Investigators from multiple agencies, including the FBI, joined the investigation. Officials later confirmed that several people had been killed and others seriously injured. The suspected gunman also died. The motive remained under investigation. As the videos spread across social media, one question dominated the internet. Did Jordan Salinas actually help stop the shooter? Hero or internet legend? Across Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube, millions praised Jordan Salinas. Many called him a hero before authorities had released a complete timeline. The moment that changed everything. When investigators began reviewing surveillance footage, a clearer picture started to emerge. Customers were running for their lives. Parents were shielding their children. Employees were trying to save the wounded. And in the middle of the chaos, an armed citizen made a decision that would soon make headlines across America. His name was Jordan Salinas. Seconds that felt like hours. According to investigators, the attack unfolded with terrifying speed. The gunman opened fire in the crowded shopping center near the recently opened In-N-Out Burger. Witnesses described hearing rapid gunshots before realizing it was an active shooter. Within moments, people were diving behind cars, running into nearby businesses, calling 911. Many later said they believed they would never make it home. Police would later describe the scene as one of the most chaotic incidents officers had ever responded to. But while hundreds of people were trying to escape, two individuals moved toward the threat instead. The armed civilian steps in. As panic spread through the parking lot, an armed civilian, widely identified as Jordan Salinas, appeared to confront the gunman. Video recorded by witnesses showed a man with a handgun taking cover and returning fire in the direction of the attacker. Authorities later confirmed that an armed citizen and an off-duty Idaho State Police trooper both engaged the shooter during the attack. Investigators believe their actions diverted the gunman's attention and likely reduced the number of additional victims. However, officials have not publicly stated that either individual fired the fatal shot, emphasizing that the suspect ultimately died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Separating facts from social media. As dramatic videos spread online, millions of people praised Jordan Salinas. Posts described him as the man who stopped the shooter. Others claimed he personally killed the attacker. But investigators urged patience. Officials stressed that the investigation was still underway and warned against accepting viral claims before forensic evidence and witness interviews were complete. The official findings confirmed that the gunman acted alone and later died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities credited the armed citizen and the off-duty trooper with helping interrupt the attack, but they did not attribute the gunman's death to either of them. While the investigation continued, the focus shifted to the victims whose lives had been changed forever. The human cost. The shooting claimed multiple lives and left several others injured. Among those killed was an In-N-Out employee who had been serving customers during what should have been an ordinary workday. Several victims remained hospitalized, with some suffering critical injuries. Families waited anxiously for updates. Doctors worked through the night. The entire Twin Falls community was left grieving. In-N-Out Burger released a statement expressing heartbreak over the tragedy and promising full cooperation with law enforcement. Law enforcement responds. Within minutes, local police, state authorities, and federal investigators secured the area. The FBI joined the investigation. Detectives collected surveillance footage, interviewed witnesses, and examined the shooter's movements before and during the attack. Authorities also appealed to the public for any photos or videos that could help reconstruct the timeline. Investigators emphasized that determining the exact sequence of events was essential before drawing conclusions. As more facts emerged, one debate quickly spread across the country. A national conversation. Jordan Salinas' actions sparked discussions far beyond Idaho. Many viewed him as an example of extraordinary courage under impossible circumstances. Others pointed out that active shooter situations are unpredictable and that every case is different. Regardless of where people stood on broader policy debates, many agreed on one point. Running toward danger to help others requires remarkable courage. As the investigation continued, officials reminded the public that every detail should be based on verified evidence rather than internet speculation. By the end of the investigation's first phase, one thing had become clear. Jordan Salinas never asked to become a national headline. He simply happened to be in the wrong place. At the exact moment, innocent lives were in danger. But how will history remember him? And what lessons can be learned from one of Idaho's most shocking tragedies? Courage, legacy, and the lessons that remain. When the gunfire finally stopped, the parking lot fell silent. Police secured the scene. Paramedics rushed from victim to victim. Families searched desperately for loved ones. And across America, millions of people began asking the same question. Who was the man who chose to face the danger instead of running away? For Jordan Salinas, life would never be the same. An unexpected national spotlight. Before August 2026, very few people had ever heard Jordan Salinas' name. He wasn't a politician. He wasn't a celebrity. He wasn't an internet personality. He was simply an ordinary citizen who happened to be present during an extraordinary tragedy. Within hours of the shooting, his name spread across television networks, news websites, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Many Americans described him as a hero. Others reminded people that true heroism also belongs to first responders, medical teams, employees who protected customers, and ordinary people who helped complete strangers escape. The tragedy highlighted how courage can appear in many different forms. But while the internet debated who deserved credit, the people of Twin Falls were focused on something far more important: healing. A community forever changed. For the residents of Twin Falls, the In-N-Out restaurant was supposed to be a place where families gathered. Instead, it became the site of one of Idaho's most heartbreaking tragedies. In the days that followed, memorials appeared near the restaurant. Flowers, candles, handwritten notes, American flags. Community members gathered to pray for the victims and support grieving families. Local churches opened their doors. Counselors volunteered their time. Businesses organized fundraisers for those affected. It was a reminder that even after unimaginable loss, communities often come together with remarkable compassion. The importance of verified facts. As investigators continued their work, officials reminded the public of an important lesson. In the age of social media, information travels faster than facts. Within minutes of the shooting, videos were viewed millions of times. Some accurately captured portions of the incident. Others were edited, taken out of context, or accompanied by claims that investigators had not confirmed. Law enforcement urged people to rely on official updates rather than rumors. As the investigation concluded, authorities confirmed key facts about the timeline and emphasized that speculation can make it harder for victims' families and investigators alike. The case became another reminder of why responsible reporting matters, especially during fast-moving events. Beyond the headlines, Jordan Salinas' actions also sparked a nationwide conversation. The debate that followed. Across the United States, people discussed the role of ordinary citizens during emergencies. Some argued that Jordan Salinas demonstrated extraordinary bravery by confronting the threat. Others emphasized that active shooter situations are unpredictable and that personal safety should always remain the first priority. Law enforcement experts often advise that the safest response is to run if possible, hide if escape isn't possible, and fight only as a last resort when faced with an immediate threat. Jordan's actions became part of a broader national conversation about courage, preparedness, and protecting innocent lives. Regardless of differing opinions, nearly everyone agreed that the real focus should remain on the victims and the families forever affected by the tragedy. How history may remember Jordan Salinas. History often remembers people not because they sought attention, but because they acted when others needed help. Jordan Salinas never planned to become part of a national news story. He didn't wake up expecting cameras, interviews, or headlines. Yet in one terrifying moment, his actions became part of an event that people across America will remember for years to come. Whether history ultimately remembers him as a hero, a courageous bystander, or simply an ordinary man who acted under extraordinary circumstances, his story demonstrates how quickly life can change. Sometimes, the people who make the biggest difference are the ones who never expected to be noticed at all. Final thoughts. The Twin Falls In-N-Out shooting is ultimately a story of profound loss. Families lost loved ones. Victims faced life-changing injuries. An entire community was left grieving. Amid that tragedy, the actions of Jordan Salinas became a symbol of courage for many Americans. As with any major incident, it's important to separate verified facts from online speculation and to remember that the true heroes include the first responders, medical personnel, employees, and ordinary citizens who helped save lives. Our thoughts remain with the victims, their families, and everyone affected by this heartbreaking event. Thank you for watching this documentary. If you enjoy fact-based, respectful documentaries that separate truth from rumor, please like this video and subscribe for more in-depth stories. What do you think? How should history remember Jordan Salinas? And what lessons can we learn from the Twin Falls tragedy? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below.